What's up, guys? I'm Travis, and you're watching Upgraded RC. Come on! Come on! Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we're going to take our VS410 Phoenix Portal out on its maiden voyage, the first run after our upgraded build, and we'll see how it does. I'm going to go to a local place that I like to go. You guys probably hear me talk about it a lot. It's called Area BFE. They hold a lot of competitions there, and I just love the place. It's a dry riverbed with lots of rocks, lots of steep inclines, and beautiful scenery. So we're going to go see how this upgraded build did, and then when we get back, I'll tell you what my thoughts are and how we're going to address some of the issues and what else we're going to upgrade on this to get it where we want to be. Stay tuned, guys.
guys, I can tell you right now there's going to have to be a modification to the steering wheel and instrument panel, basically. Look where it's at. Here, let me zoom in for you. It has moved. It is now taking up the passenger seat. Oh, that's hilarious, guys. We'll just put some screws in it or something. It'll be good.
Well, after watching some of that video on my first run, what did you guys think? I'll tell you what I think. I think this thing is an awesome platform. It does have a couple flaws on it, but I think we can work all those out through several upgrades and adjustments. Now, one of the things I really did notice here, guys, is this thing has got a lot of forward upfront weight, and we already knew that. But the great thing about that is, and I think they designed it this way, This thing crawls some really good steep inclines. I mean, it outclimbed my Gladiator, it outclimbed my Bomber. It just, as far as climbing goes, this thing climbs really, really good. Now, one of the downsides to that is in the rear, there's no weight at all. It's all up front. So I found myself, as I'm coming down the same steep inclines that I went up, now I'm wanting to do somersaults all the way down. It just didn't work out that great, so I have done a couple things to address this issue. Number one, let me start with this first. Let's start with the body. Okay, I love this body. It looks like an old school FJ40 Toyota Land Cruiser or something. It is not, though. There are some differences, so that's not for sure. But I do like the looks of it. One of the things I don't like is it's so tall and so boxy. These four corners right here on top seem to catch most of my obstacles when I'm doing extreme crawling. I don't know what to do about that. Obviously, a lower center of gravity would help out a little bit, but it's so much taller than my Gladiator and stuff. And like I said, it looks great and I love it, but it's just a little bit tall. The other problem that I had with it is if you are going to use these bedsides, which I used on the first run, I noticed that in all the tight corners and stuff where I was trying to use my dig or trying to get out of a very tight obstacle, it always seemed to hit on this corner right here, and that would hold me up from completing the obstacle. And I got to tell you too, guys, this bed liner we put on here, I mean, at first when I was hitting some rocks and rubbing on it, it would leave that white powder from the rock on here, and I thought, oh, well, just wipe the bed liner off. That didn't work. But you know what? When I got home and cleaned this off, it's like brand new. It did work. So the bed liner on the fenders, guys, if you're thinking about using that, because you see me use it in the previous video, I would recommend it. 2 thumbs up all day long. It definitely held up to the abuse of the rocks. Now, one of the other things I'd like to talk about here is the links that are on this. Now, when we were building this, I showed you guys that I was putting longer links in the front, and I was probably going to do that in the rear. Well, I found some RPM links that I really like. I found some of these blue links here, and they come in different sizes. You can also get them in green, or I'm not sure what other colors they have, but RPM's a pretty good company. They're American made. I love that about them, and their product works really well. The fact that I can get these in different colors and different lengths gives me the ability to stretch this out however I want to do it. So what we did is we put some of the longer links in the rear that went ahead and stretched the axle out exactly a ½ inch longer in the rear, and I put a little bit longer links than stock in the front that gave us 1/8 of an inch in the front. So I've gained 5/8 of an inch on the wheelbase here, which guess what? Helped us climb those steep inclines even easier. It did make it a little bit easier for the decline, but still not enough. The problem is all the weight's up front. It's not in the rear at all. So we're going to go ahead and add some accessories here. I'm going to put a high lift jack and a gas can, a sleeping bag, and you know, whatever else you guys want to put in there. Try to get some weight back here. Besides that, this fuel cell right here, I went ahead and took the cover off of this, and to get the ½ inch that we needed on our links, we had to go ahead and move our shock towers. So I moved our shock towers back to the next hole. To do that, I had to grind the corners of the fuel cell lid off to make it fit, but it worked out really good, and you can't even tell it looks great. So what I'm doing is I'm putting weight inside my fuel cell. I have added, this is the tool that you use to put your wheel nuts on and off, which, by the way, guys, this is a very important tool. If you don't have this, you're screwed. You can't get your wheels back off if you're using the Vanquish wheel spacers. It's just such a tight fit. I even went and I'm using some of the SLW Vanquish wheel spacers here, and the same thing. They are such a tight fit. I've got snap-on sockets and Matco sockets. Nothing will fit in here. You'd have to actually grind something down and make it fit so that you can go from this 7mm head on the back to the 8mm that you need to screw on your wheel nut on the inside. It's just such a tight fit. Anyways, enough about that. So I have taken and bought extra of these, and I've actually put one inside here along with your hex tools so that I've got some tools in here on the trail if I need to take my wheel off or tighten it up. And it's also adding a little bit of weight back here, and then we'll do the accessories to add some more weight, and I think that's going to help out a lot as well. Now I am going to be going with a bigger 2.2 tire here, and these are the Method wheels from Vanquish. I was going to put these on right now, but the problem is, once again, the wheel spacer here is not long enough to clear the Allens on the portals. So I'm waiting on some longer wheel spacers here, then I'll be able to put these on here and we'll go tear it up and see how this works. I really like the shocks on here that we put on here right now. These Pro Specs are amazing. They work really, really good. I've got them lowered down almost all the way right now, so that on the bottom, if you were to look at my links, you can see it's almost flat across the bottom. I don't have very much arc. And because of that, this thing sticks like glue. All in all, guys, I really think this kit is awesome. They did a good job on the design. I wish there was a little bit more weight in the rear. I wish it was stretched out a little bit longer, but you know what? We're taking care of that right now. This is some of the upgrades that we're doing to this. And with the suspension package on this, this thing goes where it wants to, guys. I'm very impressed by this kit. It's probably one of the best crawler kits I've ever had. I wanted to say stock out of the box, but it's not stock. We did a couple things to it in the beginning. Still though, this is a really, really good kit. And when we get done with all the rest of our upgrades to this, I can't imagine this being anything less than awesome and exactly the way I want it. And you guys have already seen the little 3/16 nitro fuel line I put in here with the cap. I was explaining that in the last video and how we painted some stuff up. And you know, one of the things I did notice about this that I really didn't like, and I'm working on this, I didn't want to address it because I haven't fixed it yet, but there is this clicking noise. I believe it's coming from the transmission, and it's annoying. I need to get rid of that. This transmission is really loud and noisy. I can deal with that because it's super smooth. And by the way, the dig is just amazing. You can turn the dig on and off anytime you want to. It works really, really good. The overdrive gears work just as good as well. Those shift dogs in there are just, with the greased rods there, they work great. It's probably the best shifting transmission I've ever used. It is definitely the best dig I've ever used for sure. But we got to get rid of that clicking noise. Once I figure out what that is, I'll make a video on it, let you guys know how to get rid of it and what I did. Other than that, there is nothing I can say bad about this kit. After we get done with some of our upgrades, like I said, it's going to be nothing short of awesome. So guys, that is my short video on the first run, the maiden voyage for this, and what I thought of it and what we're going to do to it. I've got all kinds of things coming up. I've contacted Josh with Vanquish Products, and they are in the works right now of getting me an incision aluminum drive shaft for the front and the rear to make up the difference. The drive shaft, the plastic drive shafts work. The stock one, when I put these links on here, they work. It's sticking out a little bit further than I want it to, but I don't see it coming out. But when we put the aluminum incisions on here, they'll be just a little bit longer, and hopefully that'll take care of that problem. If in fact I run into one, I haven't run into it yet. Well, that's all I can say about this, guys. If you want one of these, go get one. It is worth the money, and put all the good upgrades on it, and you are going to have an awesome crawling rig. It's probably going to be a pretty good trail rig too, depending on the motor that you put in and stuff. But as far as a crawling rig goes, stock out of the box, or so to speak, this thing did really good. It impressed me, and the kit went together really good. It was a great build. If you guys want to, go ahead and watch that whole video if you haven't already seen it yet, and I'll show you all the different things that I did to this to start with. Now, we're starting all the upgrades to fix everything else to make it the best I can possibly make this. Well, guys, I had a great time. I really enjoyed talking to you and telling you all about what's going on here. Let's go ahead and take it out. We're going to go play a little bit more, and I'm going to do some more upgrades. I'll do some more videos. I'll keep you guys tagging along with me. Just keep on watching. If you got any questions or anything, don't hesitate to ask. Just leave a comment down below, and I will get back with you as soon as I possibly can. It may not be right away, but I promise I'll get back with you, and I'll answer your question to the best of my ability. Well, guys, go get a Phoenix and put it together, and maybe someday we'll go out on the trail and crawl together, because this is what I'm going to have in my truck most of the time. This and my Bomber. My Bomber's always with me. I think I got to make a second seat for this one now. Guys, I'm Travis. You're watching Upgraded RC. Peace out!